Now we move to the only substantive item on today's agenda, which is Greater Christchurch Partnership and Urban Growth Partnership Memorandums of Agreement, and that is on page 13 of the agenda. And I'd like to invite Anna to speak to the paper. Please, Anna.
Thank you. So the purpose of this paper today is to seek your endorsement to the Greater Christchurch Urban Growth Partnership Memorandum of Agreement, which is Attachment A, and the updated Greater Christchurch Partnership Memorandum of Agreement, Attachment B, and to seek your recommendation to your partner governance to approve these agreements in September and October before the Urban Growth Partnership MOA goes to Cabinet, hopefully in November, subject to Cabinet's agendas. In the development of the UGP and updated GCP MOAs, we've given effect to Tītiri o Waitangi through an explicit commitment to the treaty partnership and being Tītiri-led, explicit recognition of Ngāi Tahu holding rangatiratanga throughout its takiwā, a schedule of Papatipu Runanga takiwā within the context of Greater Christchurch, and an update to our map to show marae and the original extent of Māori reserve land. For the Urban Growth Partnership specifically, as you're aware, the Urban Growth Partnership is a formal agreement between central government, local government and iwi to address urban challenges as set out in the Urban Growth Agenda. We've been working with central government officials to develop the priorities, form and functions of this partnership. And given the strength of the Greater Christchurch Partnership, the Urban Growth Partnership is proposed to include all members of the Greater Christchurch Partnership with the addition of central government beyond Waka Kotahi, represented by 2 ministers. And the proposal is that this partnership will meet quarterly. So the primary priority of the partnership for Greater Christchurch is to create a well-functioning, sustainable urban environment. This is broad and encompasses all 4 elements of wellbeing: cultural, social, economic and environmental. It's about having an urban environment that meets the needs of people and the environment. We've started on our first joint project to give effect to that in terms of the spatial plan for Greater Christchurch. And we're also talking with mana whenua about the potential for mana whenua to gift a name for this partnership, to speak to the importance of this partnership, but also to distinguish it from the Greater Christchurch Partnership. It gets quite confusing with all of these similar sounding names. But we're also retaining the Greater Christchurch Partnership as an important forum for local collaboration on urban issues. And the GCP Memorandum of Agreement has been updated to reflect changes in the context and aspects of the partnership over the last triennium and to ensure alignment with the UGP agreement. The key updates to the GCP agreement are better recognition of Tītiri o Waitangi and the status and context of mana whenua, and the inclusion of the strategic public transport functions that were agreed to be transferred to the GCP when the Greater Christchurch Public Transport Joint Committee was disestablished in late 2020, and an update on public delegations to be in line with the administrative authority, which is the City Council's standing orders. You'll notice there's also, in terms of the track changes, updates to the membership, tidying up and tightening of some of the language throughout that memorandum of agreement. Thank you. Thanks,
Anna. Are there any questions of Anna in respect of the report or the 2 agreements? There appear not. So with that, is anyone prepared to move? And there are a series of recommendations, both to endorse those 2 agreements and then to make a series of recommendations to each respective partner. So Mayor Dan, I see signalling a preparedness to move, and Mike to second. Mayor Dan, would you like to speak to that?
Just briefly, it's really covered really well in the recommendations. It's been to our council recently, and they're very supportive of this direction. We've been wanting, as we said at our last meeting, we've been wanting this partnership and to pursue this for so many years. So we're finally at the table and we're almost there. Really support us progressing with this. I've got no we've got no feedback on the paper. It's really well written. The memorandum of agreement seems fine with me, so I'm very comfortable with recommendations there, and just urge everyone to support this, because it's a really important step in the next phase of where we take the partnership. So it's great work, and I just acknowledge all the work that's gone in behind the scenes from our staff and also at an elected level in the support of this. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Mayor Dan. I've got Mike as seconder. Did you want to speak?
No, it's all good, thanks.
Kia ora. I've indication from Mayor Sam.
Yeah, just to say support the work that's been done, and this process has been good as far as coming to each of the member councils prior to it coming here for endorsement to then come back to the councils. The three of us from Selwyn can have confidence that our peers are comfortable with the work and where we're heading, and we're not stepping out of line with the rest of where our council might be at. So thank you, Anna, for coming out the other week and presenting to us in a briefing session, and look forward to ratification through our council in the next few meetings. Cheers.
Thanks, Mayor Sam. Mayor Leanne.
Just to report to colleagues that we took a recommendation through council yesterday that the decision making be delegated to the Finance and Performance Committee, which will meet before the end of the month, which leaves us in the time frame to be able to endorse this for taking forward to central government. This is something that councillors have wanted for a long time, the ability to engage at the highest level in a strategic partnership with central government and local government, regional government, working together on the urban development context, which includes obviously the transport and all of those other wider issues. So, and I just think that we should never underestimate the value of the collaboration across the different sectors and the partnership that we're developing with Papatipu Runanga as part of this. It's actually part of the strength that we bring to the table. So I'm really appreciative of all the hard work that staff have put into developing this, and thank you very much for ensuring that our councils have been well briefed ahead of that discussion. Thank you.
Kia ora, thank you. And just also, just in her absence, like to acknowledge the work that Gail Gordon's done on behalf of Ngāi Tahu and the Runanga to ensure that the documents appropriately reflect matters from a iwi hapu perspective. So just like to acknowledge that work as well. Any other speakers? There's Phil and then Grant.
Oh, I might have let Grant go first. Can you hear me? I'm not sure if I'm on mute still.
No, you carry on, Phil. We can hear you.
Oh, good. So look, it has yet to go to Environment Canterbury Council, but overall, certainly I support the other speakers around what the urban growth agenda, even the achievement of actually being able to get support to sign it, to have this signed off. I think we've got everything to gain in terms of the objectives of this agenda. Okay, the government have asked us to do this. It's a great opportunity for us at our local government area to actually work with central government, and especially around that whole much needed area of affordable housing, coupled with land also being affordable. And there's there's nothing, I think, overall in the other objectives that we would disagree with. And clearly having reducing emissions right up there is really to everyone's advantage in terms of how climate change must be addressed. So I think I'm sure our councillors, while everyone might like to see a few more things in it, in fact, are very pleased with the outline in the report today.
All right, thanks, Phil. Grant.
Thanks, Chair. Yes, I'm supportive of the recommendations as well. it is very timely, and it's great to see the government putting a bit more effort into housing, urban development, those urban design, those sort of things. I just, if I may, just wanted to express concern.
We're just having a couple of problems, Grant. The connection, you've just cut out a little bit there. I'll give you another go just to see if that's if we get a stronger signal from you.
Can you hear me, Jim?
Just now. Have a go now.
Turn your camera off, you'll probably get better bandwidth.
Turn the video on.
Okay, I'll turn my video off. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry. I don't know if you heard the first, but yeah, really supportive of the recommendations. Really timely. Good to see the government and ourselves coming together to facilitate improvements to our housing stock and housing process, urban development, that sort of thing. I was just wanting to talk briefly, Chair, about just expressing concern that we didn't manage to get that amendment to the terms of reference on 49.2 that we discussed at our last meeting. And we sort of agreed in principle to see if we could amend the wording to include the word quality. And I understand why, and for the reasons of expediency, and that we deal with this matter later. But what I'd like to do is just ask if the committee could endorse the preparation of an action note for Environment Canterbury to work with partners to prepare a short paper outlining the reasons for ensuring that word becomes visible in terms of our thinking going forward, and because it's something that our communities are really have said that they wanted, quality urban environments. And maybe we bring a paper back to the committee for discussion after the MOU's been signed, and possibly with the intent to, at a later date, preparing a variation to the agreement, which is possible under clause 17 of the MOU. And I just wondered if there was some support for just preparing a note for us to discuss, and then figure out what we want to do with that later.
Okay. Thanks, Grant. I'm sure we are all aspiring to quality urban environments, and we would want that incorporated into our thinking and the design of our work, rather than try and deal with it as an amendment to them or an addition to today's agenda item. I'd perhaps look to Anna to just ensure that matter is not lost and brought back to us as part of our further conversations. And if over time there's a preparedness to make some amendment to the agreement, we can look at that then, but importantly ensure that the essence of your observation and concern is embedded in our work. Anna's got a comment to make there too.
Yes, and apologies, Grant. When we did talk to central government, we got strong pushback on their changing to what is a sort of a defined set of wording. However, we're going to talk about spatial planning a little bit in the briefing agenda. And one of the key first steps in that is to get our urban growth principles, our urban form principles agreed, and that is a really good opportunity for us to make sure that we've got wording that really reflects the aspirations that we've seen through Greater Christchurch 2050 and the aspirations of councillors about how our urban form needs to evolve. And so the word quality, I think, will be absolutely central to that.
Great, thank you very much, Chair. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? Appear not. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please signal. That's every hand is up. Those against? I declare that carried. Thank you, Anna, for your work, and others who have made that come together. That's a great piece of work and a really tremendous step forward. So thank you very much for that. Okay, with that draws the open meeting to a close, and I will close.
Before you close the meeting,
yes.
Can I just ask, we've talked in the past about meeting in each other's spaces, and particularly holding something at Marae at Naitū Herere, and just want to know where we're at with the planning of those meetings, and whether they're going to be, just when they're planned to be happened. I think we're probably 12 months on from when this discussion was initially started, and I know that lockdown at the moment has caused some delays to that, but I'm still pretty keen to help each of us understand each other's context, and it's pretty hard to do that if we're not on a bus together, followed by some discussion and a meeting at each other's place. So just would like that highlighted again. If we could have a report back at the next meeting with the plan of how that's going to proceed, would be great.
Anna's nodding to that. So while there's logistical ease and all being in one place, take your point, and that is something which we certainly can report back, and personally be delighted if COVID allowing the opportunity to be at Marae. That would be fantastic. So look, thanks for raising that. Are there any other items of business that we can't deal with through our briefing time? I'd suggest we should hold any other matters to briefing. Great. Okay, with that I will close. Anua te pau whiri marama, toko ka te ao whatu tangata, te tai ki ranga, te tai ki raro, te tai ahurau, homie, hui, tai ki e. Can I thank you for your attendance and contribution, and declare the meeting closed at 9:24. Thank you, and stay on board. We have